Do you ever wonder why you can't finish any of your great songs? You got all these great ideas that you know are bangers, but they just end up lost in your DAW or on a wad of paper in the trash. It really sucks because you put a lot of time into your work and it just never amounts to anything. Well, after working on creative projects like making anime covers, lyric writing, and all sorts of other editing things, I've come up with a solution to save your work so it doesn't have to get lost in the trash bin. It's a simple 3-step process that anyone can do. And at the end of this video, you too will never have an idea die on you again. So what do we do when we have a great idea now? How is this going to be any different than all the other times our ideas have ended up in the trash? Well, the first thing you're going to do is you gotta be ready for these ideas. How can we do that? The first thing, you want to write these ideas down in either your phone or a notebook. So write down all the lyrics you're thinking of, any melodies, hum along into your recording features so you can listen back to it and cringe at your singing. You can write down like, oh, I think the drums would be doing this here, the guitar's gonna be doing this, and you can hum that into your phone too, or write down musical notes on like a sheet, whatever works for you, but the ideas are out. And you keep doing this until the tap runs dry. There's nothing coming out the brain anymore. It's all plop onto the page. You're just getting all your ideas out. And from there, you got this whole mess of ideas on the page, just a lot of stuff. And you might be like, all right, they're not coming out a little more. And so what do we do after that? This is still part of step 1, and this is let it cool. Now you've let the fire rest, it's cooling. Go do something else. Go take a little walk, do some dishes, just something that's slightly active and generally not scrolling social media on your phone. You don't want to be distracted. You want your brain to be open and empty. So just doing like a light effort task, like a chore, will allow your body to keep moving and keep tumbling those ideas around. And as you do this, you'll notice ideas will just pop up out of magic. And you'll be like, oh, why didn't I think of that? And so you get your pen and paper again, your phone, and you record it all again. I'm sure at this point you're scratching your head because you're like, well, this is what I usually get to this point, and then I don't know what to do. So you have these great ideas in front of you, and now you're like, I really don't want to get this die. There's gotta be more I can do. And there is. So the second step of the process is to use everything you already know to fill in the blanks. So this is what you already got is like the eureka ideas. I call this the gold, like this is the cream of the crop ideas you already have. So now you've done those ideas, you don't have a finished work, but you need more. So this is what I call the silver ideas, or like the level 2 ideas. And this is to fill in the gaps with things you know will work. So for instance, if you've written a verse and you don't have a drum groove or the guitar part yet, if you've written something in a previous song, like, I've used the 4 on the floor in a previous song and I know it will work here. So it's like, all right, I'm gonna put that in. Basically, you wanna fill in the gaps in your gold with ideas you know are gonna work. So things you've done on previous projects that before, like this should work, or a chord progression, you're like, yeah, this would definitely do the job here. These aren't your amazing ideas, like they don't make you feel a certain way, but they do the job and they let the piece keep going. The final step of our process. So you're probably still scratching your head because you're like, wow, I'm like 60, 70% done, but there is still things, just what do you do when no matter what you do, you just don't know what to do? And this is this step really was a game changer for me. This is really what allowed me to push through and finish my songs. You have to look out into the world for inspiration. Ask yourself, what would your favorite artist do in this situation? If you don't know how to finish your verse, for example, or your bridge, what would your favorite artist do here? What are songs or pieces of art that you admire that fit your situation? Like, this song sounds like this song my favorite artist did, so let me just see how they handled the project. Go in, listen to this song, really listening and be like, okay, what are they doing in the bridge here? Oh, they're using this drum pattern. I'm gonna put that in. Or, oh, I really like that transition effect. That linked things together. And see if you can apply what they did to your song. With the thing about this step, you're never gonna get it one-to-one. Like, they're professionals and you're probably pretty cool and smart too, but it's not gonna sound as great as how they did because you just don't have the skill, and that's okay. But these ideas will allow you to fill in all the gaps you have. This is kind of like a 3.5. So my singing teacher used to say is like, you always wanna practice a song till it's 80% done. Now with our songs, you wanna work on them till they're like 80% done. And you're like, 20% is a lot left over. Like, all right, don't get me wrong, the song is still getting finished. You filled it in, but you just might not be in love with that last 20%. You just got to do whatever it takes to fill it in, ideally with what your favorite artist would do and like mold it to your song. So you might look at the song and be like, it could be better. I could tweak this thing, I could re-record that thing, and there has to be a point where you just say, it's finished. This is as good as it's gonna get. And that's okay, because you got your great idea done. It's out onto the page and into the world. Now you have things you can work on for next song. If you didn't know what you were doing in the bridge and you did fill it in, like it's done, you got a completed bridge, but you're like, next time I'm really gonna make a killer bridge. Now you have something to work on for next song, and next time you write, you have a goal going into it, so then way your next song will be that much better. And there you have it. That's the 3-step process to go from idea to done. Now you can get all your great ideas out of your head and out for the world to see. So what do you do from here? Maybe you're a beginner, or maybe you're someone who doesn't really know how to write a song, but you really do. You're like, oh, fine, they can turn my great ideas, but like you really don't know how to get it done. So I've created a video on how to create an anime OP, so if that's something that interests you, like how to do some songwriting better, there you go. All right, and I'll see you in the next one.